Okay. So this is the problem that we are going to solve in today's class. This is a cantilever truss. So I will write some of the important note points here before solving the problem. Note: if one end of the truss is if one end of the truss is fixed and the other end is free, then it is cantilever truss. For cantilever truss, for cantilever truss, for cantilever truss, no need to calculate support reactions. No need to calculate support reactions. And what do we need to do? Directly start from the free joint. Directly start from the free joint. Okay. So see, what does this mean? When we were given with this specific type of a truss, so this is 4 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton. In fact, this is 10 kilonewton. There is a load here that is 10 kilonewton. What are we saying here? Whenever we are given with a cantilever truss, we need to understand that the analysis should start from the free end. The analysis should start from the free end and not from the any other joint. So here in this problem, joint D is free end, and the analysis we need to take joint D and then try to solve the problem. And all the forces in the truss are assumed to be tensile. Okay, all the forces in the members of the truss are tensile in nature. Now let us again same process, but the only difference is we need to start from joint D. So in joint D, what we have? In joint D, we have a horizontal member DE, we have an inclined member DC, correct na? So we need to resolve this into components, isn't it? We need to resolve that into components. So let us try to solve the problem now. So solution: choosing joint D, choosing joint D. So what we have, we need to sketch the free body diagram. Choosing joint D, sketch the free body diagram. Sketch the free body diagram. Okay. Now, see all of you. Okay. What is this? Tension. What is this force now? FDC. What is this? FDE. And downward we have 10 kilonewton. And this is theta. Okay. Now, so for that, tan theta is equal to, see here, tan theta is equal to opposite side, that is 3 meter, by adjacent side 4. Say the value of theta. Say the value of theta. .86. Theta is equal to 36.86. Okay, now what do we need to do? Resolve this into horizontal and vertical components. So this is FDC cos 36.86 and this is FDC sin 36.86. Okay, now using equations of equilibrium, sigma Fx is equal to 0. What are the horizontal forces? Always sign convention is important. This is negative and this is positive. Minus FDE minus FDC cos 36.86 is equal to 0. Okay, so cos 36.86 will be 0.8, and sin 36.86 will be 0.6. So from this, FDE is equal to minus 0.8 FDC. Okay. Now, sigma Fy is equal to 0. So here, downward negative, upward positive. Downward negative and upward positive. What do we need to take here now? Sigma Fy is equal to 0. In this, what are the loads acting? 10 kilonewton downwards, right? So minus 10 and plus FDC sin 36.86 is equal to 0. That is minus 10 plus 0.6 FDC is equal to 0. FDC is equal to 10 by 0.6. So how much is 10 by 0.6? 16.67. So FDC is equal to 16.67 kilonewton. Tension or compression? Tension or compression? That's what you need to say. Tension or compression? Tension is equal to 16.67 kilonewton. Tension. Now, FDE is equal to minus 0.8 FDC. What is this value? Minus 13.33. Minus 13.33 kilonewton, or FDE is equal, or this is 13.33 kilonewton compression. 13.33 kilonewton compression. Okay, so that is how we need to solve the problem. Now then what we have? We will go to joint E. Very simple concept, joint E. So this is something that is very interesting, joint E. Now let us take joint E. All of you can see that joint E has two horizontal members and one vertical member. We can see that. Okay. What is that we have? This is FEC. This is FED. And this is FEA. FEA. FEC, FED, FEA. Okay. Now what do we know? Sigma Fx is equal to 0. Sigma Fx is equal to 0. Sigma Fx is equal to 0. What is this? Is negative, this is positive. Okay. Now what do we have? FEA is equal to FED. How do we know? From joint D, FED is equal to 13.33. 13.33 kilonewton compression. Therefore, FEA is equal to 13.33 compression. 13.33 compression. Okay. So that is how we got sigma fx and sigma fy. FEC. What is that? FEC. Sigma fx is FEC. Fy. Is there any force acting? What will be the value for FEC here? Can someone say? What is the value for FEC? How much will be the value of FEC? Do we have any other vertical force? Yes, very good. So FEC is a zero force member. FEC is a zero force member. And did you understand the concept now? We have three members joining at a joint. And what is happening there? And we have a member which doesn't have any force. So this is sigma Fy is equal to 0. That is FEC is equal to 0. Over directly. Okay. Then we go to joint C. Now let us go to joint C. Joint C. We'll come back. See what all we have in joint C. Horizontal member CB, horizontal member CB, vertical member CE, inclined member CA and CD. CA and CD. That all we have. So we will sketch that. So see here, horizontal member, vertical member, inclined members. So what is this? So this is FCE, CD, CA, CB. FCD, FCA, FCB. Isn't it? FCB. Now we have to resolve this. We know how to resolve. So resolve into horizontal component, vertical component. And here also resolve into horizontal component, vertical component. So theta is equal to 36.86. Horizontal is cos. So this is FCD cos theta. That is this. And this is FCD sin 36.86. And here FCB cos 36.86. And here also FCB sin 36.86. Okay. So now whatever the resolving we are doing, now what do we need to do? Sigma fx 0, sigma fy 0. Sum of all horizontal forces, vertical forces. See what are all horizontal forces? This is negative, this is positive. So minus FCB cos 36.86, okay, plus FCB cos 36.86 is equal to, oh, I'm sorry, actually, this is FCA. Nobody is saying also. This is FCA. This is not FCB. This is FCA. All of you see here, this is FCA. This is FCA sign. Because we are resolving A component. And here also FCA. Correct. Somebody had corrected me. Correct. FCA. So this is FCA. So minus FCB is equal to 0. Minus FCB is equal to 0. So now here what all we know. Okay. So we have to write everything in terms of the other components. So 0.8 and what all we have got in the previous things. See here, we have taken joint D. So CD. So CD, how much did we get? 13.33 compression. Sorry, 16.67 compression. FCD. FCD 16.67. Okay, you all can see now. So FCA cost, so minus 0.8 FCA plus 16.67 into 0.8 minus FCB is equal to 0. Okay, so from joint D, FCD is equal to 16.67 kilonewton. That's what we have substituted. So 16.67 into 0.8, 13.34. So FCB is equal to 13.34 minus 0.8 FCA. Next, let us take sigma Fy is equal to 0. So like that, downward negative, upward positive. So here all the forces are downward only. That means minus FCA sine 36.86 plus minus FCE minus FCD sine 36.86 is equal to 0. Okay. So minus 0.6 FCA. What is FCE? FCE is 0. Minus 0 minus 16.67 into 0.6. From that, say the value of FCA. Say the value of FCA. So see here. So FCA is equal to minus 16.67 into 0.6 by 0.6. What is it? Compression or tension? That is equal to minus 16.67 kilonewton. That is equal to 16.67 kilonewton compression. Now FCB. FCB. So let us take it as one, equation 1 here. Substitute FCA in 1. So FCB is equal to 13.34 minus 0.8 into minus 16.67. Say the value of FCB. Say the value of FCB. 0. This is minus of minus. This is minus of minus. 13.34 plus 13.34. That is minus of minus. 16.67 into 0.8 plus 13.34. How much you got? FCB? Yes. So FCB is equal to 26.67 kilonewton or 68 kilonewton or 26.67 kilonewton tension. Okay. Over, done. Did we get the forces in all the members? We will check it now. You can see that. Did we get DE? Yes. So we will tick it here. Okay, anyways. So DE over DC over CE, CA, CB, EA, everything we got it. Now we need, what do we need to finally do here now? Lastly, what do we need to do? We need to make a tabular form. So member, force, nature. Correct. What are all the members? What are all the members? DC, DE, EA, EC, DC, DE, EA, EC. Lastly, CB, CA. CB, CA. So this is force in kilonewton. Okay, this is the force in kilonewton. You can write it in brackets. So DC DE 16.7, 13.4, 16.7, 13.4, 13.4, 0. CB is 26.7 and CA is 16.67. And we need to write whether it is compression or tension. So tension, compression, compression, and what is 26.67? Tension, compression. Okay. So this is how we need to solve the truss using method of joints, both for cantilever as well as normal truss. Okay. So this is how we actually try to understand the subject and method of joints. Okay. So now, yes. So in method of sections, this is used to analyze the forces in the truss for a given set of members and not all the members. Okay, such that the complexity of the problem solving will be simplified. The complex nature will come down. So, what does that mean? We will try to take a truss, cut a section in such a way that wherever we cut the section, there we have got the uh, basic understanding of where do we need to calculate the force. Okay. Now, for example, if I take this truss to start with, okay, and I have some members here and I have another member here. So when I have a truss of that kind, always the first step would be to calculate the degree of static indeterminacy, and if at all, if there are any external reactions, support reactions, we need to calculate the support reactions. Now, if at all, if there are any two collinear forces at the section, if there are any two collinear forces in the section, then we need to use this. So I will try to explain that. So this method is also called as Ritter's method. This method is also called as Ritter's method. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I will show you the screen now to make you understand how the truss analysis is done for different cases. I mean, just the procedure concept, not complete thing, just the procedure. Okay. Yeah. So now, if you try to see this, I will try to show it to you now. The portion where we can solve the truss should satisfy the following criteria. What are that? Check the statical indeterminacy of the truss, determine all the external reactions. This is similar to what we have done, support reactions, and select a section which satisfies one of the following conditions. What are the conditions? You can see that here, that if there is a truss like this, and if there are two unknown collinear forces, unknown collinear forces, what are those? So you have a force acting here, and these two are unknown collinear forces. So at that junction, you need to cut the section. At that junction, you need to cut the section. Or if there are three unknown forces which are neither collinear nor parallel. You see this? This is an example. This is a 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 member truss. In a 11 member truss, at this joint, if you see, there are so many members acting. So what I will do? I will cut a section like this here, such that you will have forces F1, F2, F3, F4. Now what we can do? Sigma Fx 0, sigma Fy 0. So cut section should happen only at those junctions when we have the corresponding joints where there are so many members. While solving problem also you'll understand it in a better way. And the last one is, see, so many members are there. There are only 4 unknown forces. and any set of two forces has independent intersection point. See here, this is independent intersection, this is intersection, this is intersection. So every joint has equivalent intersection points. So in those points also we will try to assess the cut section and take the solution forward. Okay. So that is how we try to solve the problem using method of sections. So in tomorrow's class, I will try to explain you how to solve the problem using method of sections. The only thing that is required is, if you know the concepts of method of joints, method of sections becomes easy because we are trying to use only three expressions. For support reactions, sum of all the moments is equal to 0, and for forces in all the members, we are trying to take the sigma fx equal to 0 and sigma fy is equal to 0. Okay. So this is for today's class. Thank you all. And in tomorrow's class, we will finish off the method of sections, one or two problems.